Hello Driver Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with Walt McLean behind the camera, and this is the review of the 2016 BMW M2 Coupe. This is all new, completely new car for 2016. It's obviously based on the 2 Series BMW, but this is obviously part of the M class of BMW. So it's got a more powerful engine, it's got a sportier suspension, it's got a few different design tweaks on the inside. They've changed a little bit of the exterior and such, which we'll get into in just a second. Few quick things to note. 3.2 inches wider to accommodate for fatter tires for that nice sporty handling that you do need with this car. Again, I mentioned more engine output from the basic 2 Series that you're going to find. This has 365 horsepower underneath the hood. And for those of you that are BMW fanatics, yes, I went to the website and checked, and right on there said 365 horsepower and the sportier suspension. 4 color options are available, which could be a plus or could be a minus depending on who you are. The plus, or I guess the plus in this is this really beautiful blue metallic. So you've got the choice of a blue metallic, a gray metallic, or a black metallic, or just a non-metallic white color, which is beautiful as well. One last note before we get on our walk around, which is some of you will realize and say, oh, well, this kind of looks like the old M1. Well, yes, the old M1 that was before this car, before they decided to branch it off of the 2 Series, was a pretty successful car for BMW. Only downside, they only made about 1,000 units of that. Plus side for you BMW fans, they are going to make as many of these cars as they will sell, and I can tell you, without getting too much into our opinion, I think BMW is going to sell a whole lot of these vehicles. So with that, let's get into the walk around, Walt. Let's kind of show them some of the different aspects of the vehicle. As you can see, it's got a nice low sitting prowess. Really looks good. In my opinion, you got the nice M2 on the grill right there. As we're walking around, I'm going to list what the standard features are. This car comes in one single trim level, so not a whole lot of customization available. Comes with 19-inch alloy wheels, which you'll see again as we come along to the sides. The xenon headlights, automatic wipers, auto-dimming driver mirror and interior mirrors, keyless entry and ignition, auto climate control, leather seats, 10-way power front seats, including 4-way lumbar support, heated driver seats, driver memory, iDrive system, which for those of you familiar with BMW know what we're talking about, an 8.8-inch display, and a 12-speaker Harman Kardon audio system. Now that is not everything that's included, just a few of the standout options. This vehicle, as it sits, is actually equipped with 2 different options. Number 1 is the paint. This metallic paint is a $550 option. The second option is the executive package, which gives you a heated steering wheel, rear view camera, which you can see right here, rear parking sensors, auto high beam control, frontal collision and mitigation system, and a lane departure warning system. And that's options about $1,250, I believe. So all in all, this car starts at $51,700. When you factor in both options on this car, plus the destination fee, you're at just under $55,000, which when you compare this to the next step up in the M3 or the M4, you're saving almost at that base price, depending on how you configure them, at least $10,000, maybe even more. So something to note on this vehicle is, no, you're not getting an M3 or an M4 with their bigger engines and some of that stuff. This is a great starter car. And some of you are going to say, holy cow, Richard, that's a $54,000 starter car. Yes, it is, but for those of you that are interested in getting involved into the track, getting out and experiencing a car, maybe getting familiar with how a car handles, how a specific type of car handles, while also still able to be able to drive it day after day, you can do that with that vehicle. So with that, we'll continue through the review. Blue contrast stitching is specific to the inside of this car, which we'll talk about in a second. It does have a rear trunk, of course. You hold the button and it pops up, obviously not automatic, as you can see from right there. So you just lift it up and you'll see, again, it's a pretty spacious trunk, an average for its class, 13.8 cubic feet. In the rear seats, as you can see, do fold down. I'm going to do that really quick, actually. I take that back. I'm going to have to come to the front side up here. and pull right here. So here's where they come down at. So you pull right there, and if that seat was farther forward, you would see it would go all the way down. And actually, I can just move that forward, Walt, for right now. This is kind of why we roll in the reviews. So, again, as you can see, does fold down. Both of these seats do. It's a 60-40 back seat for the most part, and it does fold pretty flat. If you needed to put larger cargo in here, maybe golf bags, some skis, some things like that, you might want to hold off on the skis because this is just a rear-wheel drive vehicle. But if you wanted to put a spare tire kit or something for a weekend at the track, you could do that. A couple things, you do have a nice little rear spoiler right here. The headlight, or the tail light I should say, is not integrated into the trunk, but rather up top right here, which again gives this car that specific BMW look to it. One last thing, and we'll show you this on the interior the best that we can. You'll notice the quad exhaust in here. Something that's new for this year that BMW has done, or I should say has not done. All the exhaust sound that you get is real live exhaust. BMW has been known to, and this isn't a bad thing, just what they do, in some of their other cars, they actually pipe in some synthesized exhaust noise to give you that nice sporty feel. Everything you hear in this car, and you can hear quite a bit of it, is actually real live exhaust noise coming from the back end right here. So with that said, we're going to actually pause the video. I'm going to kind of get the front seat set up so I can get into the back, show you the back seat, then we're going to show you the interior, and then we're going to take a drive in the 2016 BMW M2 Coupe. All right, fans, we're here to kind of show you the back seat sort of thing, and we'll show you the interior in just a second. But just wanted to know, again, this is a coupe. The back seat's not meant for full-size adults. It's meant for some smaller kids, and that's about the extent of it. You're not going to get a full-size adult in here. We'll show you why in just a second. If you want to put the full seat forward, you just lift here, and it can go, and it only goes forward here. With these being power seats, you got this nice little button right here that you push, and it lets you actually move the seat forward however far you need to, especially being in the back. So I'm going to climb in really quick. There's a pretzel here. Okay, so back here, this is now set back. I'm going to move this back a little bit, and I know it's hard to see lighting wise. I've got two vents back here. I do have an outlet port that I can plug into an outlet. A little bit of a cup holder here in the back. And overall, again, not a ton of room. As you can see, this is set for the driver over here. So if I push this seat back, it does have some insets right in here that make it easy so you can put your knees here. And I could do a drive in here, and I'm going to put this up so you can see a little bit better. I could do a drive in here for probably, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. It wouldn't be that bad. You can kind of get someone in. But if you're looking to do some sporty stuff, race, some of those things, it's going to be pretty difficult. The back people are going to feel quite a bit of movement with that. So that being said, we're going to pause the camera, and I'm going to hop in the front seat and show you the interior. All right, fans, real quick before our driving portion, here is the interior 2016 BMW M2 Coupe. As you can see from the door, some nice suede material right there along the sides. Nice carbon fiber type looking for the door handle. Again, I mentioned the blue contrast stitching that you're going to get part of that M package, or this being the M2. The Harman Kardon stereo system right up there on the top. Again, take that carbon fiber all throughout, the 8.8-inch display. The nice leather seats right here. You do have the ability to kind of pop out for your thigh support right there, your leg support. You do have lumbar supports, nice sporty front racing seats. Really easy to kind of sit in here and feel like you're able to stay put. You don't have to, you're not moving all over the place in a car like this. Your iDrive system's right here. Your center console, not a whole lot to show you there. There is a wireless charging capability that you can have. Again, that is another option that you can get, as well as the Wi-Fi. Everything else is pretty standard. You do have the M steering wheel, of course, dual climate controls, heated front seats, automatic climate control, and then your buttons for your safety are on this side. And this is equipped with the 6-speed manual. Some of you are going to get mad at me for saying, well, there's another option, which is a 7-speed transmission. You are correct. I will specify that. That is an option available, is to have that 7-speed automatic transmission. However, in a car like this, go manual. That's an opinion, but you can take that as fact or not if you'd like. So with that being said, before we get driving, put Walt here in the front seat, we're actually going to show you what the exhaust sounds like. Again, that real throaty exhaust on the 2016 BMW M2. Stay tuned. All right, fans, here we are for the driving portion. 2016 BMW M2 coupe. Hopefully you enjoyed the exhaust portion. It's hard to really hear what this sounds like, especially with the mics. We don't have that fancy technology, and honestly, some of you are going to hear it differently whether or not we're on a mic or whether you're in real life in person. So had to turn up the AC. A little bit hot this afternoon here in Colorado. Before we get driving, I want to show you a few quick things. 8.8-inch display right here. You can put it in the dual screen modes. We'll cycle through this, but you guys have all seen this if you're familiar with the BMW system. Very easy to use, very easy to operate, very simple, I should say. You've got 3 different modes: Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus that they call it, which it turns off your climate, or not your climate control, but your traction control and a few things like that. Mentioned right here, there's a little storage right here. One thing for your cell phone, I've got an iPhone 6s Plus. Will not fit down in the cup holder. You do have to kind of lay it sideways right here or sit it right up in here. And so when we get driving, you'll see why that may end up being a problem, or you can always put it in your pocket, of course. The emergency brake right here. All the other controls are the same. And now we're going to get driving in a car that, in my opinion, is pretty amazingly cool. So we're going to pull out, again, this is a 6-speed manual. One thing I will say, the manual is a little bit tricky to get used to. It's a very aggressive manual, as we like to call, has a very aggressive shift about it. It's not terribly easy, to be honest with you, and that's just lights just telling me I'm in my fuel reserve mode, 49 miles to empty. Fuel economy really quick. We've been able to average, you can actually see it right here, 31. I will tell you, doing on the highway between 70 and 80 miles per hour, actually been able to average 32 miles per gallon. And real quick, I'm gonna help Walt kind of buckle his seatbelt here so we don't get too caught in the mode. Let's see here. There we go. So that way we're not getting that annoying beeping sound. One other thing to mention before we actually let loose and turn this thing the way it's supposed to go. Road noise and drivability, comfortability. It's a very sporty car. It's a very noisy car. You can hear the road quite a bit, and you will feel the road quite a bit. Those aren't all bad things. For what you're buying this car for and the purpose of this sport car, again, it's an M series. It's meant to go fast. It's just really, really noisy. I will say that, especially on the highway using Bluetooth. Got several comments about how noisy it was. Not a big thing in BMW. It's not a knock from us, just because this car is made for sportiness. But if that's something that you're concerned about in your kind of sports car and something like this, you may want to look elsewhere. As we get driving, we're going to kind of show you this. Definitely a absolute blast of a car to drive. The braking is tremendous. The driving capability is tremendous. The turbo works absolutely awesome. I don't know how else to say it other than this car, well, flat out, as my dad says, flat out haul the bacon. There's no other way to say it. This car works really, really well. I'm gonna kind of pull over right here so we can give our opinion. It's a little bit easier to do that being stopped. So what's our opinion? 2016 BMW M2. The Coupe, again, all new for 2016. Love this car. BMW have done an excellent job in it. The road noise is something I would like to see a little bit less of, but again, for a sporty car, not something I'm a huge detractor from. The color combination, some people may not like the customization factors of it. I'm not one to say that. I personally like the color options available. And then for the money, this is a pretty good car and a pretty good buy for what else you can buy on the market. Again, to step up to the M3, M4, you're going to be in the 60s. Again, this car starts out in the low 50s. That's a pretty big difference in terms of performance car, and this will do everything that most people can ever imagine. Some of you are going to say, well, only 365 horsepower. This car is lightweight, it gets up, it hauls the bacon, does everything that you need this vehicle to do. So with that being said, who would we recommend this car for? I don't know. If you're interested in a sports car, learning how to drive a sporty car, maybe on the track for the first time, you're interested in getting into track racing, or you just want to have a fun car to tool around with on the weekends or to and from work or whatever you want to do. I'm not sure what your experience is, but this is a car, absolute blast to drive. Not so great in the snow, but not what it's meant for. So again, if you're interested in this vehicle, check it out your local BMW dealership, get in, test drive it. If you do that, tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.